So ayan, let's just continue our topic. Let's move on into the evaluation sources or the CRAP test. First, we have here a currency. So when we say currency, it always asks when was the information published or last updated. It is invaluable that our data is updated because it if the data is outdated, it can lead into incorrect analysis or incorrect recommendations or null or something, a conclusion that is not useful. So for example is electricity bill. We know that electricity bill is rapidly changing nowadays, right? Electricity bill, let's say a report from 2013 is more reliable than a report from 2019, right? Because it is updated. However, if we are conducting or studying history, it is more reliable or accurate that we use a historical event. For example, is an event happened from 19 something than an event that is happened in 2000. That is more accurate. Always remember that our data must be updated to avoid incorrect conclusion. Next, we have relevant. So when we say relevant, that's the information is directly related to the specific topic and purpose. Why does it matter? Because irrelevant information can distract our audience or our readers. It dilutes the core idea or the message, and it makes documents appear unfocused. We must always ensure that our scope, depth, perspective is aligned with our research and the needs of our audience. For example, you always asked, does the source really helps the audience or my readers? Or does the source really answer my questions? Does it support the main topic or the main point that I want to make or that I want to pinpoint? Always avoid confusion about your topic or study. The next we have authority. Let's read the authority. Authority means who create the information. What are their qualifications, credentials, and situational affiliations? Authority is always asked who are the author, who created this article, or who are the person who conducted this study or this research. It always identifies who created the informations. Why? Why is it important that we must identify who created this? It is because it builds trust. It provides tips about the informations about the specific area or specific study. It also prevent misunderstanding or misuse of informations or data. So authority means always making sure that the sources is reliable and it is came from the expert or the qualified researcher. Example of this authority are doctors, engineers, professors, chemists, something like that. That is expert in a field or something. One more thing, when we are conducting a study, always avoid anonymous blogs or anonymous author or researcher because it will it can lead into something something unreliable resources. Next one, we have accuracy. Let's read accuracy. Is the information reliable, truthful, and correct? So when we say accuracy, it always it means checking whether the information is reliable or whether the data is correct in this specific study that you are conducting. Why is it important or why is it matter? Because inaccurate information can lead to a flow conclusions, misinformed decisions, and severely undermine credibility as a communicator. So if you're a researcher or a student researcher, if you used incorrect informations or data, this can lead into a wrong conclusion or unreliable information. Your work should be reliable. It should be accurate. Always avoid the untruth informations. Example of this is a website is claiming that the material is 100% type-on proof without even a support test paper or without even an engineer report that this is really accurate or truth. This would result into questionable information. It is not accurate anymore. So next is we have the last one, purpose. Let's read why this information created. Is there a hidden agenda, a particular viewpoint being promoted, or an inherent bias? Why it matters? Understanding the authority's purpose assists in identifying potential biases that might influence the information presented. Is the primary purpose to inform, persuade, entertain, or sell a product or service? So when we say purpose, it just focuses on understanding why the information is created. Is there any particular viewpoint or agenda why this information or this study is conducted that may influence the information presented? So purpose is always asked why this information was written. What is the reason behind it? And because knowing what is the purpose, it will help you evaluate the context clearly, fairly, and carefully. Let's move on to the next slide. 4.5, note-taking and organizing research. So taking note and organizing research is very important or vital in academic writing because it will manage your time responsibly and efficiently. So we have here of systematic note-taking. When we say systematic note-taking, as research is conducted, it is essential to actively engage with the material rather than passively reading or merely copying large blocks of text. The focus should be on deeply understanding the information and then capturing it in a manner that it is useful for one's own writing. You're not just copying something. Instead, you must engage actively in your research. Your goal must be understanding what you're reading and record it if it's necessary for you to do in a way that it will help you to understand more what is the study all about, because your study would be useless if you don't really understand what is the context all about, or what is the research all about. We have 3 steps here to take a systematic note taking. First is paraphrasing. Instead of copying a 3-paragraph sentence, why not just make it short? Paraphrase it into something that you would understand clearly the idea of the information. Next is quoting. Put some quote in an important word or sentence that it would help you to better understanding about the research or the information's all about. And the lastly is the summarizing. Remove unnecessary details or information. You should just write what is important for your study. Next one, we have avoiding plagiarism. First, let's define plagiarism. An act of presenting someone else's words, ideas, data, image, or any other intellectual property as one's own without proper attribution. So, an act using or presenting some informations or data work that is not yours, an act using someone else's informations or data and presenting it as your own or your own ideas without even properly crediting the real owner. So we must always avoid this act, because this act have a consequences. For example, is expulsion from the university, failings of grades, something like that. So why do we need to avoid plagiarism? It promotes academic honesty, protect your reputation, build trust, show respect for intellectual property. Next, we have organizing research data. A well-organized research system is invaluable. It means very important. It significantly conserves time, reduces stress during the drafting phase, and ensures that any piece of information or source can be quickly located when needed. So, we have some example of organizing research data here. I-show na lang namin. So, we have citation management software, cloud-based document storage, note-taking apps, something like that it might be useful for us in organizing our research data. So, that's all po for our chapter 4.